made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Scream, Universal Traction Systems, Vantage Point Marketing, Imaging Services, Zingit Solutions, Chiro Thin, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, and Everest Chiropractic Bootcamp. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 71 of Chiro Hustle. I'm your co-host, Luke Millette. Here's your host, Jim Chester.
So today we had the opportunity of interviewing Dr. Randy Johns, and he is a team of the Happy Healthy Guys with Rob Vasquez. Stay tuned to learn more about his journey through chiropractic and how he's positioned himself with the Happy Healthy Guys. So Dr. Randy, tell us your chiropractic story and what influenced you to become a chiropractor.
Yeah, so I don't really have a real sexy story other than my dad said, hey, I've got a good friend who's a chiropractor, loves it, you ought to go to chiropractic school. And so I'm like, okay. So basically applied, got into chiropractic school, and as I got into chiropractic school, there was definitely a plan in place because I began to fall in love with and just become fascinated with the chiropractic principle. And I was fortunate enough to go to Parker University there in Dallas. There were some strong philosophical groups there and some teachers and some real history there with Jim Parker. And I remember I've been hearing about a doctor in Austin, Texas that was seeing maybe 500 patient visits a week, was seeing lots of families, lots of kids. And that was about 3 hours from Dallas. So I got in the car with a buddy of mine, and we drove down there. And I sat into his doctor's report, and it was like that light bulb went off where you just realize, like, this is something that I want to do and teach for the rest of my life, and I've never looked back.
So what would you say makes you unique in the chiropractic world?
That's a good question. For me, I was, and we'll talk about it, I was taken out of chiropractic when I lost my health about 8 years into practice. But then I took myself out of physical chiropractic on my own. Once I came back in to the chiropractic world, once I got my health back, I knew things needed to look different. I was a slave to my clinic in the past, and I no longer wanted to live that way. So I think for me, what makes me unique is I really developed a strong skill set around building teams, delegating to people that were a lot smarter than me to help systems run so I could make sure I never had to sacrifice my health again. And I think for a lot of chiropractors, a lot of people in this space, they're blowing through their health, their families, their life, and they don't have that freedom. So I think my ability to create freedom not only for myself, but for others makes me extremely unique and very valuable at this point, because who doesn't want to have the freedom and still do what you love?
You're also one of the co-founders of Happy Healthy Guys with Rob Vasquez, right?
Yeah, y'all know Dr. Rob.
Can you talk about Happy Healthy Guys just really quickly in case someone out there doesn't know about it?
Luke, I think the whole world knows about the Happy Healthy Guys. So I'm confused with the question.
All right, okay.
So Dr. Rob V, Dr. Rob Vasquez, so he's my best friend, guys. In fact, he was another one, Jim, like we were talking about before we jumped on, one of those guys that I just latched onto and just copied whatever he told me to do. He was one of my early mentors. And Rob had been in practice about 3 to 4 years when I was going to school. His clinic was maybe 20 minutes from the campus. And I'd gone out to see him, followed him around, and just fell in love with his practice, his character, and we became best friends. And 16 years later, here we are today, and we'd always wanted to do something together. And so Rob had also lost his health about the same time that I did. And when we kind of came back in, once we got our health back, we always wanted to create the ability to reach more people than we could in our brick and mortar offices. So the Happy Healthy Guys was really our version of our online Happy Healthy system, where Rob and I are building this brand. It made sense to call us the Happy Healthy Guys. It includes our programs, our products, and we're doing something that, for Rob and I, we were late to the game, guys. 10, 15 years late to this online world. And so we really had to reinvent ourselves but it's been the greatest journey ever because now, there's no cap. We're able to impact and reach people really all over the world. And that's very, very gratifying because when you have something that can change your life, you don't want to get it to a few people, right? That's why you want to get it to the masses. That's one of the reasons we were both high volume chiropractors, seeing thousands a week. We wanted to impact as many people as we could, but even at 1,000 a week, you're still only reaching so many people. So the Happy Healthy Guys has given us the platform to teach our systems how we got our health back, why we got sick, and how to live that happy, healthy, abundant life where you really love yourself, your authentic self, because who doesn't want to be happy, healthy?
Some of the things you said in there just made me wanted to pull the veil back on a couple of the key words that you shared in there. And you said that Dr. Rob was one of your mentors.
Absolutely.
And, talking about that a little bit, how blessed are we to have really high leverage people and high quality personalities to be able to mentor us?
It's everything, right? I mean, that's the whole key is go find somebody. If you're not doing well, go find somebody who is and just model what they do. And although I wasn't, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, Jim, and I didn't really have it all figured out, but here's what I knew. If I could find somebody doing something that looked integrous, was successful, and they were having a blast, I just figured if I could copy what they did and model it, I could at least do as half as good as they could do. So I think that's a thing that a lot of times we have pride and ego, and we think we have to figure it all out. It's the biggest mistake you can make. Go find those people. Who are your people that you're able to plug into and model after?
So you mentioned that you guys were also running high volume practices also.
We were.
Can you describe some of the challenges you may have had while trying to run practices and launch Happy Healthy Guys at the same time?
Well, by the time we launched Happy Healthy Guys, Luke, we'd already really had our practices running without us having to be there. So we'd already kind of created that freedom, going back to building strong teams, putting key people in place that are smarter than you are in certain areas versus a lot of the problems that chiropractors make is that they try to control and dominate every area of the practice. And when you do that, you stretch yourself too thin and you stunt your growth. So for us, we were able to create those systems early on, once again, coming back from losing our health, getting well, knowing that our life would look a lot different, that we weren't going to be the main doctor doing everything. We were going to build a powerful team. And then, of course, we developed weight loss systems to bring in another source of new patients, extra cash flow, to create another stream of revenue that kind of built off running a chiropractic business, because we had lots of patients who struggled with their weight, were inflamed, and you could adjust them all day long, and they're not going to hold the adjustment, right? The body needs no help, just no interference. That principle is very valuable, so our systems that we created there also help create that freedom and allowed us to be able to put the time and energy in to figure out this online game and to launch it.
Yeah, and you said something earlier too, that you're a little late to this online presence and marketing strategies and systems. I know that our audience is probably all interested in that. How did you decide that you're going to make a plan for re-entering into that platform and those platforms and really making yourselves known again?
Yeah, so I think before I can answer that, I have to tell you how we got there, which was, when we got sick, when we lost our health, we lost our ability to generate a revenue. We lost our ability to take care of our families. We lost our ability to do what we love. And I never wanted to be back there again. And I knew the only way, because if what you did didn't work, then you have to do something different. So the thought of going back into the same life that almost cost me my life and doing that again, I'd have been sick all over again. So I think the online space was just, it wasn't forced, but I had no other choice. And so you just start finding out who's doing it. What are they doing? Maybe, I remember our first Facebook Live. We didn't know what the heck we were doing, but hey, let's just start telling our story. And, as you keep seeking, you will find, and you'll keep attracting the right people. So, I always say that Rob and I are unstoppable forces of getting massive shit done, okay? We take action, and we're not afraid to fail. Okay, you fail forward. If you're afraid to fail, you only grow through the pain, guys. And so a lot of people are afraid to fail. They're afraid to go through that pain when we know that's the only way really to learn, to grow, and to get better. So the online world was just a necessary means that we had to figure out, and you take action. If you wait till you figure it all out, you'll never take action.
So do you have any favorite motivational quotes or mantras that help you with your commitment through Happy Healthy Guys?
Yeah, I think I just maybe even said it. Take an unstoppable force of taking massive action, getting shit done. No, it is about taking action, right? A lot of times we're afraid to fail, right? And or you're afraid not only to fail, you're afraid to succeed, okay? Which can be, in my mind, is more dangerous, right? Because you'll even tell yourself, well, I can be anything I want, which is not true. You can be everything that you are. So who are you? Are you giving that to the world? And I think for us, just our journey's been finding out exactly who we are and then developing that, investing in ourselves. In fact, one of the best books I've read, guys, this year, hands down, is a book that you guys were there for as well when we heard Coop Blackson at the seminar, right? Chiro Sushi, the book, You Are the One. Did you guys read that?
We got copies of it, but we have not read it.
Oh, man. You're going to be so mad that you waited this long to read it, and then when you're at the end of the book, you want the next chapter. It's like, where is the rest of this? It's so good. But even just like, just being thankful. I mean, I'm so motivated and inspired because I have to find that place of gratitude and thankfulness. And Coop was even talking about in the book because he goes over to India a lot. And remember that story about the beggar?
Yeah.
Blind, no hands, no legs, beating that drum and singing. And Coop walks up to him and is just like, how is this possible? Why are you so happy? And the beggar's like, very simply, what else is there to do, right? Finding that thankfulness and that gratitude for where you are, I think is huge. So that inspires me. People like Coop, people like yourself, surrounding yourself. Who's your circle, man? Who are you plugged into? Who can you go plug in and get oxygen from? Are they sucking your energy, or are they challenging you and holding you accountable? I think those are key things that keep us all motivated and successful and continue to move forward.
Yeah, and I think it's important really to find people that are influencers and attach ourselves to their experiences. I think that there's nothing greater than finding somebody that you admire from a distance and learning from them. And I know that you guys are, speaking of books, you guys have released a book recently, or you guys are doing a tour of a book. Let's talk a little bit about the book that you guys are promoting now. Yeah, so the book's called The Happy Healthy Life, and it really dives in deep to our story of just, for me, I was given that late stage cancer diagnosis July 2010. And they gave me 2 months to live. The cancer spread to my lymphatics, my liver, my stomach, and I was completely freaked out. Dr. Rob had blown out his lower back, had an injury, herniated disc, could barely walk. So we're both, sick, miserable, inflamed, and we're going around teaching other doctors how to teach health to their patients. So you can imagine how we felt at the time, feeling pretty fraudulent. So we go through our story, how we got there, and then coming out of that, what is the happy, healthy life? Because that's really what we wanted to develop and teach as we not only got well, and not just physically, but what's the mindset behind living a life that revolves around being happy and being healthy. And it all goes back to we had stopped investing enough into ourselves, physically, chemically, and emotionally. All of those things were so important to our bodies, and we just neglected those things for way too many years. So the Happy Healthy Life is really a user's guide to not only overcoming any challenge, but to really putting the things in place that daily build into creating the life that you want. And so it is a pre-launch now. We're going to officially release it December 1st. We'd already wrote the book. Something was missing. We just went on our huge tour, interviewed a lot of people about the Happy Healthy Life, a lot of doctors, met with some key influencers and leaders. And now we're going to go back in, bake in the new information,
and kind of not relaunch, but officially launch the book December 1st.
Awesome. So what's possible in the future if even more people knew about Happy Healthy Guys and, followed your trainings?
The possibilities are endless. We know when you create an environment where great things happen, and I'm all about helping create that environment. And what I love about chiropractic more than anything is that principle that you're living life from the inside out, that above down, inside out life where anything is possible. And I think the biggest lie that we've all been sold in America and across the world is that we're not enough, right? And that you need help from the outside when we've been getting everything we need from within. So we were in Columbus, Ohio just recently at a Lewis House conference, and I think he's got the #1 downloaded podcast for entrepreneurs. Just interviewed Kobe Bryant. He's one of our mentors, friends. And there was a lot of people that he brought to the table at the event. One of them was even like a Dr. Mark Hyman, who's a medical doctor. And, hearing him speak on stage, he was speaking our chiropractic principle. So, chiropractic is amazing, but what's going to live on and what's really not going anywhere is the philosophy that the body heals itself and that everything's an inside-out job, which is really what we do and what we speak about and what we teach and what saved our lives and got us well, was that inside-out mindset around surrounding yourself with things that help create that environment where you can heal, where you can get well, because health really is the norm. Being happy should be the norm. And being happy is not about everything going your way, right? Being happy is a choice. You choose it because you live in gratitude and you're creating that environment. You've got your people in your circle. You're plugged into the right people. I think those are all the things that anybody can benefit from that really makes the biggest difference. And I think we're lacking that now. You talk to 10 people today and half are depressed, and the other 3 out of the 5 are on massive amounts of medication, and the other 2 have never even been to a chiropractor.
Yeah, and from understanding where both you and Rob came from was running highly successful, busy practices, people honestly think that that's the end all for the chiropractor. And I think sometimes the chiropractic space looks oddly at their brothers and sisters that decide to go in a different direction for their careers and what they find to be best for them and their business. How have you managed that type of energy transfer from being the high-level practitioner to being somebody with different interests with a DC degree?
Yeah, to be honest, you just gotta chase and go after what you want, right? And just not really care what anybody thinks, to be quite honest. And I haven't abandoned any of my principles that chiropractic gave me. If anything, those are more alive now, Jim and Luke, than they've ever been. We're just helping get our principle to more people in a way that they can digest it. Because chiropractic is what we did, but it wasn't who we were. Who we are and what we're capable of can be perpetuated through the chiropractic principle, right? Because if chiropractic taught us anything, right, it taught us that look on the inside, look from within, quit looking outside for everything that you need or want, because those things never create happiness. The real happiness is an inside job. And so for us, I think we've helped bring along a lot of the people that we've had influence in the chiropractic world, been able to help create freedom for, and then connect to people who did the same thing. So one of our good friends, Dr. Josh Axe, was a very successful chiropractor, but decided to chase his dream of getting health and health principles and great products to the masses. And he's done a phenomenal job of that. In fact, we used to mentor him in chiropractic school, and now he's mentoring us because he's making a massive impact in a positive way. So, we're trying to do the exact same thing. How many more people can we reach and help that are never going to walk into one of our brick and mortar chiropractic offices or our weight loss offices? What do you want? Who are you? Go after that, chase it, and don't listen to the naysayers. And unfortunately, a lot of times our own profession can be the worst, and that's the sad part. But flowers bloom, man.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing that stuff, because I know a lot of times people are really confused within their own energies and what they should be focusing on and how they take energy from other people. And, it's a short world that we live in, and, we don't have endless time, and we really have to counterbalance ourselves with how we feel about ourselves and how we take projections from other people. And, a lot of times, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but early on in my journey, I had a degree, and I used it for the first 2 years of my, after I got my degree. And then for the next 10 years, I put it on the shelf, and I worked in the service industry. And I can't tell you how many people that were people I grew up with that, gave me not like a really rough time, but they made note of it to let me know that I was the one guy in my neighborhood to get a college degree, and here I am bartending. And, it's always the people from the outside that see you as who you've become is how you should remain. And I didn't find personal fulfillment in what I was doing professionally. And I just wanted to get back to what I enjoyed doing, and that was interacting with people. And, there's so many people that will point a finger at a chiropractor for not adjusting anymore when they found professional credence in doing something, within the health spectrum, but they're not adjusting anymore. And the first thing that a chiropractor does to their fellow brother or sister of chiropractic is point a big finger at them as to why aren't you doing what you went to school for anymore.
Yeah, no, you see it all the time, and it sucks because, if we were all collectively working together, we could do so much more. That's probably not going to happen. I believe the way we change it is more of us have to go out there and chase our dreams, stick to our principles, and create real massive change. And you really can't necessarily do that if every single one of us just sat in a clinic in a brick and mortar office in a small town or a large town or whatever, seeing a few hundred patient visits per week. And that's where it goes back to the circle, guys. Who's in your circle, right? Who are the people that they know everything about you, that you can tell anything and they still love you, and they help drive you and push you forward. Because most of it's like that story of the bucket of the crabs, where that one crab tries to break away and all the other crabs, pull them back down because they don't want them to break away. They want them to be comfortable where they are. Then the crab tries to go out of the bucket again. And this time they pull the crab down, they break his legs, they rip his claws off. Now the crab's like, well, damn, now I'm really screwed, but I still want to chase this dream. I still want to go after what I want. I know what God's called me to do. Now he tries to get back out again. They grab him, pull him back down, and they kill him. That's a real phenomenon that happens when you throw crabs into a bucket. And sometimes we can find ourselves in our life in that bucket of crabs. So you got to break away. If you know that you're called to do something, and you could be scared to death, you got to go for it. If you don't, you're going to be miserable. And I wasn't happy for a lot of years because I felt like I was doing what everybody else thought I should be doing. And I was really good at what I did, but it wasn't fulfilling something much bigger and deeper inside of me that I knew I was built for. And I know you guys feel the exact same way, and I know a lot of people listening, are you really chasing and going after what you want? Self-doubt is a silent killer of big dreams. Any self-doubt or limiting beliefs you believe they're a lie, you gotta get rid of them. You gotta get over them. Whatever you're scared of, go do that one thing. That's the one thing you should do, is bust through that fear.
Yeah, listening to somebody like you that's been through the ranks of chiropractic school, in the ranks of a high volume office, and now the reinvention stage of doing something that can have a lot of impact on so many lives. And I love how you say get out of your four walls of the brick and mortar. And a lot of people, that's where their safe place is.
Yep.
But they don't find achievement or personal gratification within those four walls. They just become the ever-present servant, and they don't really realize what life is outside of that routine. And I think that's been one of the hardest challenges for me as Chiro Hustle has been growing momentum, is getting myself outside of the routine and feeling okay with that.
Yeah, it's easy to get comfortable, right? And I don't know that I would have even potentially made the shift if I hadn't gotten sick, because my life was out of control, working way too many hours. I was emotionally a wreck. I wasn't dealing with a lot of the things I should have been dealing with and really chasing what I really wanted. And I think it's so dangerous, man, because the money can be good, but the reality is a lot of us are in that rut, or we're in that safe place, and we're still not even happy. The money may not even be there, or your relationships aren't even well, but it's just kind of what you're used to and what you know. And comfortability and just that day-to-day comfortable place, that's not living life. Because really what you're doing is you're avoiding any and all adversity. And once again, like I said earlier, you cannot grow unless you go through the pain. What's the fear? What's the pain? What are you going through? You've got to break out of it. To make me comfortable in a day-to-day life without the chance for growth and impacting more people, I'd rather, I don't know, it's not good. It's suffocating.
Yeah, and just to talk further about growth, even if it's on a micro scale, with our first episode, we had 174 listens, on the first month, and now we're right up around 10 to 12,000 listens an episode.
Amazing. And how long did that take?
Well, we just released episode 68 this week, so I think it was probably about the first year of us putting out content that we hit the 10,000 listen mark. Wow. No, I know, man. That's just the dedication to just moving forward. And there were times, I'm sure, along this path where you're like, are we doing the right thing? Is this really the direction we should go? I know Rob and I have felt the same way. And, just a little over a year now since we launched Happy Healthy Guys and SCT OIL in our programs, which, by the way, man, thanks for doing our program, man. We appreciated the feedback. We loved your result. So thanks for doing our ketabolic method, man, by the way. And we were along that way. We were like, is anybody going to want this? Is anybody going to love us? Are we even likable? And we're just like, get out of our heads, man. Let's just go tell our story. I think telling your story, we all have a story, right? Every one of us do. People don't buy based off facts and stats and being a doctor. They buy based off emotion. And you need to get good at telling your story to impact people, to help them, tap into something much deeper and bigger. And sometimes we can stab people to death and get in our own way with how smart we are. You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Scream, Universal Traction Systems, Vantage Point Marketing, Imaging Services, Zingit Solutions, Chiro Thin, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, and Everest Chiropractic Bootcamp. Let's hustle. And you're so right about so many things you just said there. And telling your story is really the reason why we wanted to add value to the chiropractic marketplace, because we've seen people come and do the podcast, and we've seen people, start a self-serving podcast that wanted to make them somebody really special in the media world. But so many people don't do it for the cause of a greater common thread. And I think that that's what Chiro Hustle's done, is it's like the silver thread that weaves the chiropractic story together for all walks of life in the chiropractic space, to be able to share and to keep free speech alive and the truth of chiropractic for what it means for the chiropractor, but also for the future patient or for the future student or for the person that might be confused as what the chiropractic really is. So yeah, people telling the story and listening to other people's story, it's really where we're at in our relationship economy right now, is who do we want to attach ourselves to and who can tell the best story.
Yeah, I mean, and people are starving for it, man. They're looking for somebody who can connect to them and who's really going to meet them right where they are. Chiropractic it's the greatest thing. Is there anything better as a profession of just people who want to serve and help others? But I think we've really let mankind down in some way, that we just really got lazy and we didn't really get good at telling our stories and communicating our principle. And that's on us, because I don't know anybody that you would share the principle with who wouldn't just be blown away. On our tours, we were going up through, into Nashville, Ohio, and into New York, and back through Carolinas, and just the most beautiful places in the world. We were interviewing people along the way, Jim, and it was interesting just talking to them and asking them about, what is the happy, healthy life? And we were wearing our greatness hats from Lewis House, and people, what does that mean? So we get a chance to teach them about health and ask them questions, and people just would light up like a Christmas tree when you would talk about how we all have greatness within us, that God made you to be healthy, that the body heals, and we're here to help people live these amazing, healthy lives. That's a message people can latch onto, and we've just missed it as a profession, I believe, because we've made it more maybe about ourselves, maybe about survival, maybe it's about some of that. But if you take care of you, you invest in you, and you want to help others, that inside-out approach, it works beautifully because people really connect to that. If they know you're about the money, if they know that you're about just yourself, your own practice, and you're not looking to help impact others, people can sniff that out. So I think telling our story, really being connected and tying and helping connect the dots for people, they're really receptive to that, and they're looking for it. They're tired of the drugs. They're tired of going to doctors. They're tired of the system that's presently constructed because it's failing us all. And chiropractic and our principle is really the answer. And either we're going to tell it and get good at it, or other people will, and they already are, which to be honest, I'm okay with, guys. I'm okay with people telling our principle, because the principle's been around way before chiropractic was invented. I can tell you that. Since God breathed life into man, that power that rotates the earth, that stirs the seas, that brought us into life is still alive today. It's our job to teach it.
So if things continue on the path that they're on right now, where do you see the chiropractic profession in 20 years?
Luke, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't know. I don't know where chiropractic's going to be. What I believe is that our principle that we love so much isn't going anywhere. And more people are looking for people to teach them that principle, to help them create that environment in their life where great things can happen. I've always said that, people don't need chiropractic care from birth to death. They need no interference. They need to have the truth told to them and taught to them from an early age. It just so happens chiropractically, that's the best portal to help make that a reality. But, our principle can be taught and administered in multiple ways. And, our book, The Happy, Healthy Life, and what you guys are doing, we're teaching that principle. Whether you lay a hand on anybody, give them the principle so they understand what health is and they're looking within, and then that's how things will change. Because I don't go to doctors because I know drugs are poisonous. I don't go to doctors because they don't align with me philosophically. Outside of an emergency, I would never go. So we've got to equip people, teach people. If we do that as a profession, the profession has a great chance to grow. But if we make it more about everything else, I don't know that the profession is going to continue to grow or get any better, because if it would have already done that. And we're 100 plus years in, and dear God, what's going to look like in 20 years if we don't get stronger at communicating our message?
Well, I definitely think that bringing people together like yourself and what we're doing here with Chiro Hustle is definitely a step in the right direction.
No doubt.
We're very objective on sharing the story of chiropractic from multiple sources, and I think we've done a really fantastic job at that. And in order for us to do that even better, I want to talk a little bit more about your Happy Healthy Life book and the SCT OIL product and how you really healed yourself a little bit.
Yeah, so part of the healing process, it was when I went into Spain. So I left the country, refused chemotherapy, radiation. Obviously, those things weren't going to get to the cause of why I was not healthy. My father just died a year earlier, so I was emotionally a wreck. I told you guys I was working way too many hours and really not taking good care of myself. So when I got sick, I knew I couldn't correct any of that with traditional medical care. So ended up getting into Spain. I knew that, the chiropractic principle that I believe to be true, that the body will heal when given the right opportunity, that it's hardwired to heal. That's what got me to Spain and helped save my life. So I'm there for about 5 weeks, and within 5 weeks, there's just no more cancer. So the doctor there wasn't treating my cancer. He was helping my body adapting it chemically, physically, and emotionally, because he brings the matter to the force. Chiropractically, we bring the force to matter. You need both. And so I had 2 chiropractors. Dr. Rob was there with me to keep me adjusted. Dr. Jeff Stiber was keeping me adjusted. So going through all that process there in healing, there were some protocols that he used, and it was interesting. One of the things he was doing with me was administering short-chain fatty acids or short-chain triglycerides through goat and sheep products, through cheeses and milks because of the impact on the gut, the brain, the liver, and the immune system. And it's an essential fat. It's a macronutrient within a macronutrient. And most people are over-dependent on long-chain fats, or really struggle with processing isolated medium-chain fats like an MCT oil or a caprylic acid, which you really wouldn't find in nature. So using these fats, obviously lots of clean food, real food, no fake stuff, and the protocols he used, I was able to get well. So when we came back into the States, Rob and I were like, man, we really want to help create a system around developing protocols using these type of things we did to get well. So there wasn't a product, though, that was able to deliver a potent dose of any type of short-chain fat. So we were forced into making it. It took us 18 months. We figured it out. We've got a system and a process to make it. When we got it developed, Rob was our guinea pig, and he lost 65 pounds. And hasn't gained it back now. It's been a long time, over 5 years ago. And so we're building programs and protocols around using these short chain fats with the proper foods to teach the body how to burn fat for energy outside of the ketogenic diet. Because a lot of people in the keto world, it's phenomenal, but it's still diet based. You got to get your body burning fat, teach it how to burn fat. There's just no better way than to do that with short chain fats. Plus, I don't want to get cancer again, right? So the best way to not get cancer is to make sure your body is not insulin dependent, but it's using fatty acids for energy, which it can do very easily when you create the correct environment for that.
So tell us about some of your favorite marketing strategies. What are some of the tools you use to get the Happy Healthy Guys such a household name?
Yeah, so we've done the Facebook, we still do the Instagram right now, focusing more on Instagram. I think you guys are doing a lot of that with Instagram as well. And they're great platforms, but I kind of talked about it earlier. Our biggest thing that's helped us grow and get our message out has been connecting with key influencers. And so really when we first launched SCT OIL, we sent out over 100 jars to just key influencers in the healthcare sandbox, in our arena. And it was pretty phenomenal with them posting pictures, promoting it, getting it into their groups and their followers. So that really helped grow us almost overnight, where a lot of times you're spending tons of money on ads and social media, which can be very effective, but there's no greater growth than that Jesus math, where 1 + 1 = 30. It doesn't even make sense. It's that compound interest. So I would really challenge anybody wanting to grow your business is to really start connecting to these key influencers. Look outside your own maybe chiropractic world. Who's some entrepreneurs that you respect? Start going to places where these people assemble, where they get together. One of our key groups we've talked about is the Summit of Greatness with Lewis Howes, and connecting to them. So that really helped us grow almost overnight, and really helped us look a lot bigger than what we actually were at the time.
You said so many things right there, and I lead into a lot of my lead-in questions by saying that, but you said so many things right there that really make so much sense. Is in the way that social media is positioned nowadays, we're all one message away from each other.
Yep.
It's not the day where you have to say, hey, can I have your phone number and give you a call? No, you can direct message almost anybody that you have access to.
No doubt. I mean, you're 1 or 2 people connections away from any single person right now. So that's a powerful place to be. So for us, that was really the number one key thing that we did. We sent product to people. We followed up with them. We thanked them. We just cultivated those relationships. And I think for anybody, it's something that you can do and get massive success very quickly.
And honestly, it just takes a group of guys to be hyper-focused, or a team to be hyper-focused, to say, okay, these are our allies. These are the top influencers that I know. And the other part of it is who are the mentors I should be connecting with. And if you can dial into understanding who your influencers are, who your mentors are, and who your allies are, I really think that if you just stay laser focused on what you're trying to accomplish, anything is possible within any realm, whether social or brick and mortar.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, don't become an echo chamber. Don't always be the smartest person in the room. If you are, you're in the wrong room. you need to get yourself uncomfortable, get around people who are doing things that you're not doing, that are doing things greater than you. Not that they're greater than you, but listen, they found a niche. They're doing something amazing, and you can learn from those people. Just don't get isolated and find yourself where you're really not getting a lot of feedback other than from yourself. Right? That's a big challenge. And as us guys too, I would challenge you, get some other key females in your life as well, because a lot of times our perspective can be very, very myopic. It can be you could be misguided because you're not seeing it from a more well-rounded perspective. So find those people, get some key people that are doing what you want to do, that are having success. Even people that aren't even in your space but are having great success, that formula can be replicated in any area. And I think that was a huge thing for me. I started to learn from people just outside of chiropractic and outside of chiropractic entrepreneurs, but other people that really are having massive success and have launched businesses, launched companies, who failed, right? I like to learn from people who've gone through some stuff, because I know that I have, I know that you guys have, and that's where we learned the most. So anybody that says, I'm successful, never failed, is really lying to you, because either they were not successful or they're just lying to you. Because if you're going to have success, you're going to have to be willing to fail. Find those people who are out there and done it, and they don't necessarily have to be in your space. They don't have to be a chiropractor.
Now, I know earlier you mentioned doing Facebook stuff and Instagram stuff, but do you have a favorite social media platform to stay connected with your audience? Do you guys have a podcast?
Yeah, that's a great question, Luke. So that's one of the things we're going to launch here very quickly. Rob and I both are like, we've got to have the Happy Healthy Life podcast. And because with all those influencers that we're connected to now, these are all people that we'll be able to bring on and bring in their following and vice versa, and connect and work together. So I think a podcast is beautiful, something we're launching here. We started off on Facebook, kind of built our community there with our Facebook Lives and our online programs that people connect to and get into our private groups so we can stay connected with them. I told you guys we're now kind of moving into the Instagram world. We're going to be doing a 5-day campaign next week that's going to massively grow that side of the business and bring in more people and influencers into our group. So, all the basics is just getting committed to that one thing and then working on it, and then hiring the right people or connecting to the right people who've already done that. So, if you're going to build a huge following and cultivate a group or a tribe, then go find somebody who's already done it and model what they're doing and learn from them. Pay people what they're worth, right? Things are valuable. If it's free, there may be a reason. It's okay to pay people. So that's something I suggest too. If you're not spending, money and a good portion of your money into people who can help you grow, then you're really losing a lot more money than you think you're saving.
Heck yeah. The sooner I started opening up my pocketbook and paying for different coursework and different events, I realized how quickly we started building more impact with each other.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, we've paid some key people. We're going to continue to pay them, and then everything's a season. Then go find somebody else. But you should be hiring, 1 or 2 people every single year that are holding you accountable, that you're learning from, that they're giving you things and tasks to work on to grow yourself, to grow your space. In fact, we're going to be in Vancouver, British Columbia here in a couple weeks with one of our mentors, Dr. Ed Osborne, who's helped us a lot in the ClickFunnels world and connected us with some key people. And just, we've got so many great people that have been in our life that are just really just great friends and people that we've paid. Who are you paying and what are you spending money on? And make sure you're investing in yourself. Stop investing in stuff that doesn't revolve around things you can influence, right? Invest in yourself. You're your greatest investment.
Man, I couldn't say it any better myself, and it's just great to hear somebody that is following the similar channels of connectivity that we are. And, Ed is one of the reasons that we started doing Chiro Hustle and, meeting great influencers along the way. The reason that we're so household right now, the way we are, is because we've held space for people. And I used to tell people this from the jump when we started Chiro Hustle, that now if I want to talk to Dr. Randy Johns, I can send him a message at 5 o'clock on Friday and he'll respond back to me. if I want to connect with Ed Osborne, I send him a message at 5 o'clock on Friday after he picks his kids up from school and he's about to have dinner, and I send a message, he'll respond back to me. And I think that that's the power of influence, but that's also the power of network. But people have to realize that once they get to that level of saturation, that you have to be somebody of value to be responded to. So yes. We're that much more connected, and our ability to reach out to each other is that much more great. But you have to be somebody of value in order to build your tribe mentality and to build those influencers around you that want to reach out to you and actually assist you.
That's true, man. You gotta bring value to the table, and the only way to do it is you just gotta put the work in. I wish there was an easier way, but there's just not. You just got to go after it and just take massive action. Don't be afraid to fail. We've talked about this. Don't be afraid to succeed as well, which can be even more dangerous, because now the expectation of what that feels like if you do succeed, does that create fear? So yeah, go be great at what you do. Just flat out, go be great at it. Bring value, pour into others, and I'm telling you, the way the universe works, we all know. You attract those things. So I like being attractive, guys. How about you guys? And not physically, but I do like that too.
So what's one piece of advice you would give to another chiropractic entrepreneur?
I think we've kind of laid it out, but for anybody wanting to break out of maybe just the day-to-day operations of a brick and mortar, go find that mentor, find somebody who's doing what you want to do, and make that connection. Get to some conferences, like a Chiro Sushi, like Summit of Greatness, some of the things that we've done. Go to an Ed Osborne. You go connect with some people who can really point you in the right direction, and places where you can connect with people that are, once again, doing what you do or what you're wanting to do. So it's really not any more simple than that, Luke. Just go find people that are doing what you're doing, model after them, and just pester the hell out of them until they freaking break down. That's what I did with Bob. When he was in practice, I just kept pestering him until he finally just, death by 1,000 paper cup. I just bled him out. But he finally just said, okay, what do you want? You freaking hungry, crazy student. I'm like, I want to do what you're doing. So tell me what to do. I'll do anything,
Yeah, and that's great. And I know that there's some really positive influence that you and Rob have formulated together because of your tenacity. And let's just turn the page back just a little bit and focus on a couple of things that you enjoy, and get to know Randy just from a little bit of a different angle. What do you like to read? I know you mentioned that you've read a couple books this year, but what do you like to read? Are you into self-help books? Are you into entrepreneurial style books, copywriting books? What do you like?
I really, for me, it is. It's more, especially more so this last maybe 12 to 18 months since kind of launching and taking this online thing with the Happy Healthy guys. It's been more just pouring into books that feed into helping me really learn more about myself and being my authentic self. Because for me, I think for a lot of years, I just really wasn't who I really was. I wasn't a fraud, I guess. I wasn't my true authentic self. I was almost scared for people to really know me, and if that was going to be enough. And I think growing up, I always wanted to be a pleaser. I always wanted to make my dad and my family happy, and even just going to chiropractic school. That's what my dad wanted me to do, so I did it. And so I've really been pouring into the things that help me become a better version of me, the most truest, authentic version. What is the truth about me and who am I? And then I want to be the greatest version of that. And that's, for me, is the only way I think I'll be able to achieve what I want to achieve, which is creating the #1 online health space in the world. And so I've got to be okay with that. So the books I read all revolve around, really discovering yourself. Do you really love yourself? If you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. Living a lie, being fake, and not really knowing who you are, it's the worst life you could possibly live. I just never want to live that way again at any point. So you guys got to read that book. You Are the One. Coop Blackson. I'm telling you, got to read that book immediately. It's the best book I've read in the last, decade.
I've done another interview with somebody else recently that said that as well. That said I have to read that book. So it's at home in Grand Junction. I leave tomorrow back home from Denver to Grand Junction, so I'll make sure that I put that on my short list of priorities.
Another cool book too, just a short read that I love because I'm always fascinated with the mindset of successful people, because ultimately that controls our success, right? What we believe about ourselves is more powerful than reality. What do you really believe about yourself? Do you think you deserve what you think you can have? So Lewis Howes' The Millionaire Morning, it's the mindset of millionaires. And I think it's a very cool book. Everybody should read. It's so powerfully, basically beautiful. So The Millionaire Mindset by Lewis Howes, really cool short read. Get fascinated and obsessed with people's mindsets who are creating massive success.
So what are some online resources you can give our listeners to find more about you guys or any products you're selling? This is time for your plugs.
Yeah, so I think for us, the best way to connect to us is through Facebook and through Instagram at The Happy Healthy Guys. So at The Happy Healthy Guys. And then we have an online program, our Ketabolic method. It's really our Marbella method, which is where we were in Spain. It's the system we developed to help people get out of inflammation, lose weight, and really get the body, teach it how to burn fat again. And so that's an online program that we offer at ketabolicmethod.com. And then obviously our SCT oil, it's sctoil.com. You can go there, you can buy it. We have wholesale accounts for doctors, we have affiliate programs. A lot of doctors just baking it into their patient protocols because of the anti-inflammatory and the fat-burning benefits. So more things to come, but those two sites there, and connect with us online, direct message us, and stay connected. We love to hear from people and love to respond. And we respond to every single thing.
Same here.
Yeah, no doubt.
Be social on social.
Right? What a concept.
A lot of doors open up when you just communicate with people and you're top of mind with them. And, they come to the idea that they need somebody to help them, and they look to you for that opportunity if you're familiar and consistent with them. Yes, no question, man. Authenticity. That's got to be the word of the day, guys. Well, we're coming up on the edge of our interview with you today. Is there anything that we didn't ask you or talk to you about that you'd like to share with our audience? I don't think so. Maybe just revisit. I'm excited about the Happy Healthy Life book. It really dives in more into my story, Dr. Rob's story, kind of what we went through, the mistakes we made to get to that point, but then also the recovery, the healing. It talks about how I lost my baby brother to a massive heart attack because he didn't have good health, and it inspired me to want to do more things to help people. So I think the book, we're excited about it, going through the Happy Healthy Mindset, learn more about us. I think it's a book that anybody could read no matter where you're at or what you're wanting. I think anybody can find inspiration, encouragement, and hope from the Happy Healthy Life. So December 1st, book comes out. We're doing pre-orders now. And the book is free. Just pay for shipping, and you can have a copy. So reach out to us, and we'll let everybody know when it's going to be officially ready to rock and roll. Awesome. Well, thanks for spending some time with us today on the Chiro Hustle podcast. Hey, guys. I am the one who is blessed. I appreciate you so much, Luke. You and Jim, you guys are world class and big fans, and the Happy Healthy Guys are in your corner. So anything you guys ever need, y'all definitely stay connected, and don't ever hesitate to ask.
Awesome. Thanks again, Randy. It was a lot of fun having you on today.
Oh, man, you guys made my whole day, man. I was looking forward to this all day. And just knowing that opportunity is out there, it's a super blessing to be connected to you and having you a part of our tribe. Love it, dude. Count us in, bro. Count me in. Awesome.
All right, Randy, we want you to enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
Hey, you guys as well. I know we'll connect soon. Hopefully get to see you soon. Where you guys headed out next anywhere? I know you guys are going to kind of take a little break from travel. Where you guys headed next? Honestly, I think a little bit of a shutdown mode for us, regrouping, working on our team efforts together and focus. Yep. But I think probably starting out next year, we'll hit CalJam, and that will be the jump of the next cycle, and we're going to be at 10X Growth Con down in Miami. Love it, man. So we'll definitely see you guys at CalJam for sure, and look forward to connecting again. Awesome, brother. Well, thank you so much. Okay, good night, guys. All right, see ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.